I felt stuck in between two worlds.
Planes, trains, chicken buses, tuk-tuks, and junk boats.
Spend more time together, and most of all, have fun. Because spending time together as a family is one of the most important things we have.
Picture this. You're lying on the sand on a beautiful beach in the Bahamas, sipping a cold drink. Or you're walking the streets of Paris, eating a beautiful crafted French pastry. Or even exploring the wondrous ruins of Cambodia. That's the amazing thing about traveling. It exposes you to a world of new sights and cultures, and it just leaves you completely in awe of the universe around you. However, we might have to put a pause on all our travel plans for at least 2 more years. Today, I will be talking to you about the future of traveling for you to get a glimpse of the future and how traveling might play out through the next few years. The travel and tourism industry has been one of the hardest hit industries of the pandemic, and while the future is uncertain, there is still hope. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I talk to you about what traveling might be like in the next few years. This is Business Explained. To learn more about all things money, get educated about how to do business, become business savvy, and enjoy more videos like these, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell and you may be granted with many sweet, sweet returns. So the travel and tourism industry. It is one of the largest service industries in the world. In 2017, the United States alone generated over $1.6 trillion in economic output and was responsible for over 7.8 million jobs. Just keep in mind all the flight crew, hotel staff, performers, and tour guides you've encountered over the years. They all help make sure our vacations go off without a hitch and that we really truly get to absorb as much of the new places that we see. Do you remember your last vacation? Where did you go? Aren't you excited to go off and see new places again? I am too. However, we're going to have to wait for a little while before we go jetting off to our dream destinations. When the new coronavirus pandemic broke out, the travel and tourism industry was hit really badly. Some might even say that it is the industry that was hit the worst. Just to give you a quick overview, the COVID-19 virus first emerged in December 2019 in Wuhan, China. Since then, it has spread throughout the globe. Countries all over the world have been enforcing strict lockdown and quarantine protocols and have banned flights from coming in and out of each country. Even domestic travel has been heavily affected as local and national governments prevent people from crossing from state to state and province to province in hopes of effectively curbing the pandemic. So needless to say, it has had a negative impact on traveling and tourism. According to Frank Farley, a Temple University psychology professor and former president of the American Psychological Association, the pandemic is going to fade slowly, with after effects, a lot of which will be psychological. People are forced to stay indoors for their safety, and very strict health standards are being implemented in public spaces. It's as if the world slowed down. One global estimate approximated that roughly 100 million jobs in the travel sector have been lost or will be lost during this entire period. In the United States alone, passenger traffic for airlines is down by a staggering 95%, and they expect a decrease of over $300 billion in international passenger revenues. The pandemic has bankrupted hotels, restaurants, bars, rental agencies, and shops all over the world. And for many, it has not let up yet. Nowadays, airports are still practically empty. Airlines have been grounded for many months, and as people try to navigate what we call the new normal, or build a life around the pandemic, we see travel restrictions gradually being eased up, and people slowly taking buses, trains, and planes to go from place to place.
You need to push yourself to take that vacation, try new things, and visit new places. But most importantly, have fun and live without regrets. Thank you.
We are past the halfway mark of the year 2020, and we're all just starting to get back up on our feet. The European Union recently announced the reopening of its internal borders, allowing for citizens to travel within European Union countries. It also plans to allow for travel outside the European Union bloc. Countries like Singapore and China have permitted people to travel for essential purposes, but passengers are rigorously scanned and tested to make sure they don't carry the disease. Deviation from the travel itinerary is strictly prohibited, and airports are using various methods for contact tracing to know who each individual person has interacted with and where they come from. During these trying times, people are fearful and uncertain. They value their health above everything, so no one knows how fast the tourism and travel industries would be able to bounce back. Like Frank Farley said, the pandemic will also massively impact the psychological apart from the physical manifestation we see today. The world as we know it has shifted, and people are scrambling to adapt to what is happening to us now. There will be many changes. Traveling as we know it will certainly change, as ports all over the world would have to implement strict sanitation and health protocols for every individual crossing from border to border in order to ensure that something like this does not happen again. However, in spite of how bleak it all looks during the present, experts and analysts insist that in the long run, the travel and tourism industry would actually boom and would be able to make the pandemic work to their advantage. No, really. Let's dive deeper into that. According to some experts, countries that feature a strong response to the pandemic will be able to use their records as marketing strategies to regain tourists. Globally, there is hope that normal travel will resume by the next year, 2021. For countries that coped relatively well with the global outbreak, they would experience a much easier time readjusting travel and tourism policies and would be able to get back on their feet much quicker. Travelers will be more likely to trust places that are governed well and have efficient and effective health systems in place, meaning tourists would be most likely to flock to places that are regarded as safe. There are even talks of developing virtual reality programs that would allow people to explore new places through digital services and apps. Countries will reopen at various times, and getting permissions to travel to a particular destination might require you to follow a far more rigorous and extensive set of guidelines and measures. But that's all just to make sure that everyone stays safe and healthy. After all, we do not want the pandemic to go on for years and years, and we certainly do not want a repeat of what's happening now. Experts say that in spite of all that is happening to our world today, the desire to travel is never going to disappear. To quote writer Pico Liar, "We will keep traveling because curiosity cannot be expunged." One recent survey says that a third of the Americans hope to be able to resume traveling 3 months after the lifting of travel restrictions. Experts are saying that before international travel recovers, domestic travel will experience a boom first. People would be more likely to go on a road trip than hop on a plane because road trips are much easier to manage and are easier to attain. This would be great for boosting local tourism and would be able to positively impact the local economy as well. There are also reports from the United Nations World Tourism Organization that by 2030 there will be over 1.8 billion worldwide tourists a year. It may be hard to believe seeing the current condition of travel and tourism industries, but 10 to 20 years from now would bring massive changes to how traveling is done. Developments in science and technology will make sure of that. We're already on the way to developing the Hyperloop, which many are heralding as a future of transportation. Futurologist Ray Hammond predicts that by 2040, many airports across the globe will be implementing facial recognition for instant check-ins. This means that there will be little to no need for identification cards. This is just one of the many things in store for traveling in the future. There are also talks of smarter and more efficient forms of ground transportation. We've already heard all about self-driving cars. Experts suggest that in the future they will be more readily available to the public, and that long road trips might look more appealing to some as a car will do all the driving by itself. Planes and trains would also be engineered to move faster and more efficiently in order for us to get to where we need to go in the least time possible. There are also virtual reality or artificial reality systems in the works, which would allow people to get a glimpse of particular destinations so that they can map out their travel plans accordingly. While traveling may have been put on a halt right now, it will certainly be around in the future. It's only a matter of time.
And say yes to a transformative travel experience. This is not about checking things off a list. It's about having meaningful experiences.
What are your thoughts on the future of traveling? Where do you plan to go when this is all over? What advancements in the travel industry do you wish to see the most? Tell me what you think and let's talk about it in the comments section below. I'll be responding to all of you who comment within the first hour. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely check out my other video titled The Economic E-Commerce Boom Explained. to take a closer look at one of the industries that took off during the pandemic. E-commerce is all about convenience. You see something you like online and you simply press Add to Cart, fill out your details, and wait for your item to be delivered to you. Sometimes you can even wait until delivery to pay for your item. Doesn't that sound so easy? That's why more and more brands across the globe are looking to turn their businesses digital to reach more customers. Tons of our favorite shops are online now, and if you own a business, it might be the time for you to start looking into that too. Watch the economic e-commerce boom explained to learn all about e-commerce, why it's so popular nowadays, and what the future has in store for it. Stay tuned, stay educated.